All right, what's going on, guys? Today is April 29th. I'm going to be going over today's price action. I took no trades today. We had FOMC later in the day, so I was very particular about what I wanted to take today. And then just nothing incredibly obvious today. Also, probably would have sized down a little bit and then just gone for base hits due to, the market was just pretty choppy. And as you know, if you've been trading for quite a while now, that you understand that FOMC being later in the day, usually New York AM will chop, accumulate liquidity, and right when FOMC begins, we'll usually aim to go take out that liquidity that we created during the AM session. So that is kind of what happened today. We've kind of just delivered not really anywhere, but there were some definitely good opportunities to make money today in the markets. Just nothing incredibly obvious that I felt comfortable putting risk on the table for. So let's just go ahead and go over what I saw today. First of all, it's kind of bothering me that these are not the same color here. So, all right, perfect. There we go. All right, sounds good. Open up ES as well. There were some SMTs that I saw today. So let's begin. We're at market open already. All right, cool. Okay, get me out of here. All right. So starting on the higher time frame here, bro. My replay is not working, but this is what I saw. I was bullish, kind of looking at the daily time frame, bullish, and then as I started going down to the lower time frame tier, my real bias began to set in. Right, so I can clearly see that we are kind of displacing to the downside here. We got a slight inversion of this 4-hour fair value gap. New day open gap is still below us. We are delivering out of this 4-hour currently, and moving down to the 1-hour. Now I have to go back to market open. 1 hour, not too much I saw. I marked out this 1 hour just in case we wanted to deliver higher off open. But my main target was really I wanted to see if we were going to move higher. I wanted to see price manipulate to this 1 hour down here. Sweep out this low inside this hourly gap and give me something like that. But then moving on to the 15-minute, I began to see that we had these equal lows right here. And then we also had equal highs as well. So these equal lows became my drawn liquidity for the day, right? This is just incredibly, incredibly obvious. So I wanted to see those get taken out, and then we had equal highs as well. Where were the equal highs at? Right here. And then we had equal highs as well. So equal lows, equal highs, but those equal lows looked much more obvious to me. We're clearly trending down. Clearly trending down on like the hourly, the 15-minute, and then even the 4 hour, right? We're clearly trending to the downside here. So I knew that we would probably want to return back to these equal lows, take those out, and then maybe get a higher time frame delivery into my key level, being this unfilled hourly below as well. So that's really what I was looking for. I wanted to see price manipulate higher, and I actually didn't see these equal highs until a little bit later on into the session. But ideally here, I wanted to see price manipulate higher, possibly up into this hourly. I mean, now in hindsight, it's pretty far away, but ideally, I wanted to see price manipulate into this hourly, or just get a sweep of this buy side right here. I also think that this was London highs. If my turn the indicator real quick, yeah, London highs. So either we swept out my two conditions for the day, right? Where we either sweep out these equal highs and take out London high and deliver to the downside to take out these equal lows, and deliver into my higher time frame key level, or we manipulate lower, take out these equal lows, deliver into my higher time frame key level, and get a push to the upside, right? So those are my two conditions for the day. And then as far as ES goes as well, what time are we at? Oh, we're at 8:45. Hold on. Let me just get my bar replay back into where it should be here. All right, 9:25 there. Let's see if it'll let me do ES as well without. Okay, well, I can only do one at a time. Trading view. We got to get that fixed because that's ridiculous. But either way, let's just focus on NQ here. All right, so we went over my conditions for the day, and that's kind of just what I was looking for at market open. And as market opens, this is what ends up happening. Let me go ahead. So we end up manipulating to the downside, right? We take out these equal lows immediately, which is fine. That's still, part of my conditions here. I don't mind that. And I saw a couple people taking this, right? Like this was, I mean, I guess you could have taken it. Pretty obvious here. We're going to return to these equal lows, so it's kind of just like a FU short. But the draw on liquidity was definitely there. Stop loss position would have been tough, maybe at this like 1 minute gap here, but 1-to-1 would have been, just not something I would have taken. Not obvious. Draw on liquidity was there for sure, but just not something that I would have taken. So we sweep out these equal lows, and then we actually do deliver into a higher time frame PD right here, being this 15-minute right here, right? We swept out this low inside this 15-minute. We deliver off this 15-minute as well. And so at this point, I either want to see price continue to move lower into my, my key level, or maybe even deliver out of this 15-minute right here since we got the liquidity sweep. Price ends up rallying to the upside, and there was nothing inside of this leg that I wanted to take, right? We're inside of a 5-minute. Maybe if you saw this 5-minute close, and I think we also were SMT'd at this low with this right here, if I remember, maybe this low. I can't remember. We were SMT'd with one of these lows here. So we had an SMT down low, so I would have been fine seeing this 5-minute inverse. But in reality, we did open up a 15-minute. If I move forward here, we're about to open up a 15-minute. Nothing yet. Price continues to chop around, and there it is. Right, so we open up this 15-minute right here. So now it makes everything a little bit trickier. Again, I'm being very cautious today. I'm not really looking to take anything with FOMC being later in the day. So I'm kind of just taking it very cautious, making sure that if I take anything, it's going to be very, very high probability. Another key level for today that I really was keeping my eye on was this 5-minute BPR. I really wanted to see how price rejected off this, and it actually ends up being a catalyst for a very good setup that I ended up fading earlier, later on in the recap. I'll go over it, but at this point we're inside of a 5-minute, and I saw some people take this, right? I saw some people take this 5-minute. Let's wait for this 5-minute candle to close. Yeah, so I saw some people take this 5-minute right here, and this just was not ideal to me, right? Like some people took this 5-minute, you're targeting these equal highs, and they were confused on why it didn't play out, and I'm like, it didn't play out because you're longing into a 15-minute fair value gap. You're also longing into a 5-minute BPR in another unfilled 5-minute. So very not ideal setup here. Didn't like that whatsoever. And now being inside this BPR, I was very, very, cautious of what I saw here, and I either wanted to see us rip through it and go to the upside, take out these equal highs, and then eventually London. Then we also had a bunch of LR, by the way, so this is another thing that I was looking at, confluence that I was looking at for longs at some point today. So we have the higher time frame delivery. We have a V-shaped recovery on the higher time frame, being the 5-minute. So if I saw this BPR get ran through, I was very confident that we were going to take out these equal highs, but so that's just kind of what I was looking for at this point here. And price ends up playing around inside this BPR. We get a slight rejection to the downside here. Again, nothing I liked. I guess you got a 2-minute. Trade would have been invalid, though, with this close down here. We're not retracing into a 5 or 15-minute gap, or I lied. We actually are retracing into a 5-minute gap. So at this point, you could look for, ideally, you're not looking for shorts, being that we already took out these equal lows, and then we have equal highs above. So ideally, I'm not looking for shorts anymore at this point. I really just want to wait for either price to tap into my key levels again or deliver out of this 5-minute and sweep this BPR. So, and then at this point, you actually get a pretty solid setup right here being, I think it was this 3-minute. That wasn't bad. I can't remember correctly, though. I think it was this 3-minute that wasn't bad. But, yeah, you could have taken this 3-minute, right? You could have taken something like this off this inverse right here. But we did inverse the 5-minute as well, so I mean it was a failure move here. So seeing that we did fail to, we created the inverse, but we failed to move lower, and then we get this close back above. Seeing that could have been a good, catalyst to be able to see that price is going to move bullish from this point on. But for me, just not enough to put risk on the table. So you could have taken something like this, right? And I think that this would have played out. But you are into this BPR. Probably would have gone break even at this point right here, maybe even right when we tapped into the BPR, to be honest, to be safe, and I think that this would have played out. Yeah, so that would have played out right there. So that 3 minute wasn't terrible. And at this point, I'm very convinced and convicted in longs. Looks like we're displacing out of this 15 minute right here. We have 5 minute LR above us. Again, the equal highs and London highs as well. So at this point right here, I was looking for longs, and exactly what I got ended up, like what I was looking for ended up happening. We get the 5 minute inverse and the 5 minute BPR right here. And to be honest, I should have taken this. For me, everything aligned. I really like the setup. You could have held for obviously equal highs, right? In this LR, this is definitely the best draw on liquidity. And if you were confident in a higher draw, you could have gone for London. But ideally, this was the setup to take. I really like this. I was very convicted in this trade. I just ended up fading it at this point in the day. 10:30. I wasn't really comfortable with putting risk on the table. So I ended up fading this setup. But this was probably, in my opinion, this is trade of the day. We're clearly bullish, disrespecting that 15 minute. We get the 5 minute BPR inverse, 5 minute inverse, all this LR. Probably could have taken it break even at these equal highs right here. And it would have ended up, you wouldn't have, to be honest, I probably would have waited for a close at this point, not break even if my thing will stick. Now I wouldn't have gone break even to the tick if we, with the wicks. In these types of continuation models here, I like to go break even when we close above my my break even point. So break even at this candle here. And I really liked that. And also, you probably could have gone break even like at this high inside of this 1 minute BPR as well. Not a bad break even point there. But this trade played out beautifully. I like this trade a lot. And then at this point here, right, you could have easily understood like once we ran through this BPR right here and got this inverse, that we're definitely going to continue to move up higher here. So that was probably trade of the day in my opinion, and we end up edging London highs. So we don't end up taking London highs. At this point, it's 10:48. It's pretty late in the session. There's not too much I like here. We've taken out equal lows, taken out equal highs. I just would want to see continuations to London. But at that point, I faded my setup that I was looking for most of the day, so I wasn't looking to take anything here. But there wasn't really much at this point. This SMT right here. Then we had a 30-second inside this leg right here that got inversed, and it began to play out. Or I think it was right here. It was inside of these two candles right here. 30-second price ended up coming down. I would have gotten stopped out if I took it. I saw some people put their stops at this low right here, but it just didn't make sense to me. So, but that ended up failing. We didn't want to take out London highs, and we began to move to the downside at this point here. So, and at this point, there was really nothing I liked or wanted to even tape read at all. We're just inside of a 15 minute. We're inside of a 5, multiple 5s, and price is just trending lower. The only thing that was, valid to take was probably this setup right here, which would have been, I can't remember where it ends up happening. No, this isn't what I was looking at. Yeah, I can't remember where it was, but looking at it now, even like this 5 minute inverse, there's a slight 5 minute up here. So if you did take something like this, you would have gotten break even immediately, gotten break even, because that other 5 minute, I would have wanted to see these 5 minutes close if we were going to return back to London, delivering out of this 15 minute. And at that point, it's 11:45 a.m. So I was off the charts at 11. Right when this accumulation started happening here, I realized, like, all right, we're not going to do anything for the rest of the day, most likely. There's no reason to continue to tape read or sit on the charts or anything like that. So I ended up getting off. But yeah, I mean, really, in my opinion, trade of the day was this 5 minute inverse of this BPR. I also really liked, I guess, the short down to the equal lows off this inverse right here. What else? What else? Yeah, that was really it. There's not much opportunities anywhere else. I guess this 3 minute as well wasn't bad. Right here, if you were just convicted in the draw on liquidity. This 3 minute, did we get the close on that candle? No, we did not. So you would have gotten break even right here. 3 minute, could have had your stops. Probably would have put my stops right here, given price room to go into this gap. Or gone soft stop, right? So gone stop loss right here, and then gone soft stop if the body's closed below my break-even point here. And I liked that as well. It's just we were still inside of that 15-minute, and then we were inside that 5-minute. But would have gone break-even right here, and then eventually probably held for these equal highs up here. And that would have been a great trade as well, almost a 1 to 5. So not bad, but we just didn't have the higher time frame delivery on that trade like I would have wanted to see. We were just inside too many gaps for me to feel confident in taking this setup. So, good on you guys if you, stayed out of the markets today. Good on you if you ended up green. But really, if you stayed out of the markets today with being, FOMC later in the day, today wasn't incredibly high probability. I mean, there was good setups, but nothing obvious light bulb. So if you stayed out of the markets, protected your capital, very, very good stuff. And then if you ended up green as well, there were some good opportunities. So if you executed today and pulled the trigger, good on you. So good stuff either way. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today, though. That's pretty much all I saw. Got off the charts after that. Go touch grass. Get off the charts. Always another trading day, so we'll come back tomorrow. Very surprised this London high didn't get taken. Very, very surprised this London high didn't get taken. Obviously, I think we'll return back for that. And then end up pushing higher. But where are we present right now? Looking at the charts. Still ranging. Still inside this range right here. Dream scenario, because ES did take out this low. Ideally, I feel like we see something like maybe, I don't even know, like something like this. Take us into this key level. Maybe we manipulate a little bit lower. And then we begin like a move up like this to take out London. So ideally, maybe you see something like this is kind of what I'd be looking for. Yeah, that seems ideal to me. But there always is the opportunity, the idea that maybe we just flush up. So yeah, that's pretty much it though. That's gonna be it for me today. I'll be back for another backtesting session later on. Hopefully you guys had a good trading day this morning. So go touch grass, get outside, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace.